Welcome back, guys, to your favorite show, the Scotty Survival Show. And, of course, your favorite host, me, Scotty Survival. All right, so with that said, guys, I'm glad to have you back. And this is subscriber viewer request video number 2. And this is going out for my faithful sub, Stealth Andy Steth. And Stealth Andy Steth wanted to know how I sharpen my knives. I believe it's my knives. I hope I got it right. Knives are tools, but we're going to specifically talk about how I sharpen my knives. And boy, what a story and a journey it has been. So we'll just get right to it. So my journey of learning how to sharpen my knives started with a stone. And actually, it was just a regular grit stone that I started with. This here is actually a whetstone with a, let's see here, 3,000 grit, 8,000 grit on opposite sides. And basically, you get this wet, and you put it in the water, and I guess you get here on camera. Basically, we get your stone wet, and you get your knife like this, and you want to get the right angle, so when you lift it up. So the way that I learned is that you want to close the gap on the blade. So you just get it where you close the gap, and that's where you have it at. So whether it's 15 degrees, whether it's 20 degrees, 10 degrees, depending on your blade grind on there, that will determine your angle that you put your knife on. So blade grind will determine your angle that your knife will go on. But with that said, I still had trouble sharpening this way. And I see a lot of people do this. They go back and forth like this. And then they'll flip it over and do the same. And they'll go up into different grits of stone and do that. And then they'll take the knife and then they'll shave, they'll shave their arm. It'd be razor sharp. I mean, razor sharp. Well, let's just put it this way. I never could get them razor sharp that way. The knife would be more dull than what it was when it came from the factory. I mean, I couldn't even get the shave hair. I don't think I ever get the shave hair doing it that way. So I tried that for the last few years, and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with whetstones. Not saying they don't work. I just can't get it to work. So, and I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to, that I know of. So, okay, so I was like, okay, I'm done with whetstones. So I moved on trying to find different ways to sharpen. So here we have the DMT sharpening system. And these are just like the whetstone blocks, but these are diamond. And I heard good things about these. This is pretty darn expensive, this thing here. You get 3 of them, you get different grits. And same thing. Take your knife, go across it. Or you can do it this way too, where you just get the right angle, depending on what kind of grind you have on your blade, and just go like that. Forward, back, forward. Or you can do them like this here. You come back only. And then you can take the blade and go forward to basically take the burr off. And I tried the same way with the whetstone, back and forth. Just back and forth like that. It didn't work for me. Okay, we got that out of the way now. So I have finally pretty much retired that method of sharpening knives. Here's another method. Leather belt. I mean, this is like literally a leather belt. And you can strop with, you can strop your knives. And stropping works. Bring you down here. You just basically get your knife. You never go forward on the leather. You always go back. Bring it up like that. But that's only going to work if you keep your knife sharp. If you let your knife get too dull, you're not going to be able to just strop it and bring the shape of the blade back. That's just not going to work. That works good. It's definitely good to have a leather belt in your survival kit to wear because it's multi-purpose. But that's only good if you keep your blade sharp. If you let your blade get completely dull, your blade will not sharpen up by stropping it. So finally, here is what led me up to how I sharpen my knives. And I've learned from other people. I learned from reading about how to sharpen stuff, and I just learned from, failure, from not being able to sharpen my knives, having a hard time doing it. So what works for me might not work for you, but this is what works for me. I have two ways that I like to sharpen my knife. And this is the first way right here. This is a honing rod. Okay, you see these like in the kitchens and chefs. Or chefs use and stuff. And you see them like this. Real fast. And then just razor sharp. I don't know about that, but you see that. They do like that. It's like razor sharp. Okay. These do work. And I'll show you. They do work. But you have to keep your knife sharp with this. If you let your knife go completely dull, like I said earlier, you're not going to get it sharp using this honing rod. I haven't been able to do that. So if you use your knife every day, say you have an everyday carry knife, like this knife here is my everyday carry knife. However, it's got serrations. I want to show you how I sharpen that. I don't use the honing rod so much for that. But if you keep your knife sharp, then you use this every day, because all you're doing when you use a honing rod is you're just bending the metal back. You're just taking the burr, bend it this way and bend it the other way, and it brings the blade, it brings the sharpness right back to its original state. But you got to use it more frequently. If you, like say, if you let your blade go dull, I've said it a million times, you're not going to get sharp. So I like these. This is I got one more method I use, but this is how I normally do my knives. At least I'm practicing that way. Okay, so we have the Coldsteel SRK right here. Now this is what I used in my last camp out video. Now I'm going to show you here on camera. So this knife here was a little dull from when I batoned and feather sticked with it in my last camp out. And I've been using the rod on it. But I want to see if it'll shave my hair up here. Barely. It kind of gets it. You can see there it gets it a little bit, okay? Now, I'm going to take this to the honing rod. I'm going to show you how I get it really sharp. So I don't really angle it. I just hold it here in my hand like this. Just find a right angle for your knife and just let the blade, I hope I get you guys on camera good. And just get the blade the right angle you want it on. And just flip it over. And I don't use any weight of the blade. Just kind of lightly hold it in my hand. And when I catch myself trying to really push hard on it, I let go of my grip, because you're just supposed to let the blade do its work. And you'll do this, you know, however many times you gotta do it, but I'll do it here, it gets a little better angle. Hope you guys can see that. Maybe I get you up here. This is how I do it, and this is what I would do to keep my knives sharp. I want to let them go dull. I want to do it this way. That way, I'm going to show you how I do that here in a minute. So we'll do this however many times we got to do it, and we'll take it back to my arm and see if we can get it back to being sharp again. But just like this, that's how I do it. Back and forth. Now some people go like this. I mean, you do it over the top, under the bottom. You can go a little faster. This seems to work the best for me. So the hardest part when you do the honing rod for me is getting this section right here to the tip. This section to the tip is the hardest part for me to get sharp on the honing rod. This part down here is not too bad. For some reason I have a hard time getting this sharp. So the last thing to get sharp on the blade is the tip here, the tip part. So let's try that and see if we can get some hair shaved with that part. Yep, that did it. Get picked up there on camera. About cut myself. Look at that. You just saw a minute ago when it do that. So yeah. So that is my #1 preferred method of sharpening my knife that I use, after I use it, you know, per se. If I let it go dull, then I don't use a honing rod. Now, I'm going to show you something. When I do let my knife go dull, or if it does go dull, or if I use it a lot and I didn't get time to sharpen it, I'll show you the other way that I sharpen knives, and this is the ultimate way. And this is this is called the Work Sharp. And this is the Ken Onion edition. Now, I had gone through a lot of frustration at trying to learn how to sharpen my knives. And one day I was just like, you know what? I had enough. I was tired of trying it. I was having such a hard time. I was getting really frustrated because I saw other people sharpening knives the way that I couldn't and getting their knives razor sharp. I'm just like, how in the world do they do this? So I'm glad you wanted me to make this video, Andy, so I can kind of help you. Hopefully I can help you guys a little bit. But we live in a modern age of very sophisticated technology, and this honestly is the way to go. You want to do it right, do it fast, cut the time in completely half from whetstones to this. In my opinion, this is the best. So it comes with all your different belts. You have from your lowest grit to your next grit to your medium to your fine, and then to your really super fine, which is like a stropping edge. Now, what you have to be careful with this, you can see it here on camera. So on this side here, you have your different degrees. And I thought I needed mine on 15 degrees. And I didn't. Let's say that much. So what happened is I had this pocket Bushman here. I put that on 15 degrees and sharpened it. And I put actually like a higher bevel on it. It didn't ruin the knife. It just completely changed the blade grind on it. It made it more like a fillet knife. So if you can see it there on camera, it didn't do anything to it, but it made that's not the blade grind that comes with these knives. So that's one thing to consider if you ever get one of these. Learn how to use the settings for your grind. So since I mostly have Coldsteel, I put my angle at right here at 22 degrees, and that seems to work just right. We're gonna go ahead and use that, and I'm gonna take a knife here, and it happens to be a Coldsteel SRK, but this is a Coldsteel SRK Carbon V, and these they do not make anymore. Really sweet knife. It is a Coldsteel Carbon V made in USA, and I got a video where we'll be showing my Coldsteel knives off here in the future, but I'll be honest, this thing's never been used as far as I know since I've ordered it. I ordered it online, but it's not hair-raising sharp, but we're gonna make it hair-raising sharp really easy and really fast. See if it shaves my hair. It got a little bit, but it's just you can see me scraping it. May have to put a little more of a shallow angle, I guess, but it does a little bit, not much. We're gonna make this thing razor sharp. So we don't have to use all the bands on the Work Sharp. We're just gonna use the extra fine band and basically it's like a stropping band on it. So we'll try those. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get razor sharp. So it's a little funky how you put these on, but it just rolls over the side. And you gotta like push this up here. You can see it. See where my thumb is. Push that up and you just kind of work this top part. This my left thumb is over the top, and then it's ready to go. You can see it there. Has a speed control in the bottom here, and I don't really get too carried away with it. So. And this right here are the angles, so the blade's gonna sit in there just like this. And you'll just run it back like that. And then you'll do the same thing on this side. Run it back. And when you come off, you don't pull it out while it's going. You leave the tip of it on the belt while you take your finger off the trigger, but you'll see here in a minute. And we're set at 22. You see the angle there. So that's the right angle we want. Didn't do anything to the blade. So, depending on how many times you want to go, it's up to you. You just keep using your arm as a test or a piece of paper or whatever. While we're sharpening this blade, this is a little diagram that came with the Kin Onion. And basically it gives you the, you see it there on camera without being a blur, but it gives you different ways to sharpen. So you have like up here, how sharp can you get? And it says ridiculous. How worked is it? Blunted, dull, neglected, dull, worthless. And then it tells you what bands to use, and it tells you how many times for each side to sharpen it, and it tells you which bands to use, what speed. So yeah, it's got all that on there. I mean, it shows you everything. It's just a nice little diagram. So if you ever get one, these are, I would start using this first. And like you can see where I circled this right here. That's usually what I go with, is this one here. It has angle 25, but it just depends on what company knives you're using. So make sure what knife you're using, you know what angle their blades are at. Coldsteel, from what I've looked up, are between like 20 and 23 degrees. So okay, I've switched bands. This is the last band. This is the stropping band. So we'll probably do this like 6 times on this side, or on each side, and we'll try that, see how sharp it is. I'll go one more time. Okay. Let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Razor sharp. Look at that. It took a good old chunk off of hair. So that thing's razor sharp. Awesome. So Andy, I hope that was a good video for you, mate. And I hope you learned a little bit of something there. I know I'm still learning. So yeah, but that is what works for me, and that is how I sharpen my knives. So, honing rod, if you have an everyday carry knife, use this every time you use your everyday carry knife. Use this at night before you go to bed, just to keep your blade at its right angle and right shape. Your knife goes dull, this is what I recommend to work sharp. That's what works for me. I've tried everything else, so yeah. So I hope that was a decent video. I hope I was able to explain everything well. I guess I'll find out once I get up there and edit this video. But anyways, guys, I was glad to have you along, and I hope you all learned something. I know I'm always learning. So guys, I will see you in the next video. And please make sure to leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought. And if there's anything else I need to explain, I'll try to do better next time. Yeah. I'm not really in character today, so anyways, guys, thank you for being a part of my channel, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you get all videos, and we'll see you in the next adventure. God bless you guys, and take care. Bye.